Assalamu alaikum. So the question is about Salafi versus Sufi. Okay, well, it's important to get past the labels and this idea of teams. Try to, inshallah, know that we're all on the same team. We're trying to be good Muslims on the same team. And take a second to try to understand what this person means when they give themselves that label. So for instance, when a person is talking about Salafi, well, what is the Salaf? Salaf means predecessors. And the idea of a Muslim wanting to stick to the Salaf is a good idea. Why? Because we don't want to know the Quran in isolation. We want to understand the Quran in light of the Sunnah. And we don't want to know the Quran and Sunnah in isolation. We want to understand its context and know exactly how the early generations understood the Quran and Sunnah. So that's a good idea. That's a good concept. You can call this adhering to the Salaf or orthodoxy. I don't necessarily think any of these labels are necessary, or even the term Salafi. It's not necessary as long as you understand, look, Allah called us Muslims. We want to understand it in its original form, how the early generations understood it. This is all a good idea. Now, if you hear somebody saying, oh, I hate these Salafis, I can't stand these people, you can say in response, if they're doing something that goes against the Salaf, then just clarify what the correct position of the Salaf is. So in other words, you dislike their lack of adherence to the Salaf, so why don't you attack the problem, not the solution? I hope that's clear. Now, in terms of Sufis or Tasawwuf, etc., historically, Tasawwuf just refers to like spirituality or like zuhud, like asceticism, detachment from this dunya, materialism, etc. Or tazkiyah is another term that's very synonymous or close. Tazkiyah means like purification of the heart. These are all good things. These are all good ideas. So personally, I don't think if we understand it from that perspective, that I just want to work on myself as a Muslim, or great, mashallah, go for it. Whether you call this tazkiyah or you're a zahid or mashallah, you're trying to get deeper into tasawwuf. It depends on how you mean it. Personally, I don't understand why somebody would call themselves a Sufi. To me, it's kind of like somebody asking you, are you a Muslim? And you're like, no, I'm not a Muslim. I'm a really, really good Muslim. That's kind of a weird thing to say, right? Like, I'm not a Muslim, I'm a Sufi Muslim. I'm like really, really focused on being better. Aren't we all supposed to be better? So I don't really understand why you'd call yourself that. It seems like kind of a humble brag. But it could be the case that when somebody calls themselves a Sufi, what they're trying to say is actually, I'm not just Muslim, I have a different set of beliefs. And if that's the case, then you really have to investigate and ask, okay, what makes you different than a Muslim? Why are you a Sufi Muslim? What actual beliefs are we talking about? And then scrutinize those beliefs in light of the Quran and Sunnah, not just based on the label. So I know it might not be very satisfying, but in short, labeling people Sufi or Salafi is just too surface level. You have to find out what makes you a Sufi, what makes you a Salafi, and are those ideas in line with Islam or not? So drop this team mentality, drop the labels, and instead actually do some research and clarify. If somebody has something wrong, then try to educate them and inshallah bring people together instead of pushing people apart. Okay, Sagam.